In this video we're leaving Sanor's coastline behind and heading into the mountains towards Kintamani, one of the island's most scenic destinations. I've been there, but that was a long time ago, back in the 80s, so it will be like being the first time for both of us. We're driving up with Kachut. He's taken us to a lot of places in Bali, and he knows the roads pretty well because he actually does some work in Kintamani. It's about 60-65 kilometres from Sanor. The drive is about 2 hours, allowed 2 hours in case of traffic and the odd local ceremony which might block off the road for a while. And if you're travelling by scooter, maybe an hour and a half would be all it takes to get there. This journey takes us north of Sanor along the coastline, turning off just past Labi and up towards Gianyar, and from Gianyar we'll be travelling through to Bangli. Gianyar is an area famous for its arts, wood carving and traditional Balinese culture. It also has its fair share of silverware too. And then it's into the Bangli Regency, and did you know that of the 9 regencies, Bangli is the only one that doesn't share part of the coastline? But it does have Penglipuran village, probably Bangli's most famous cultural attraction. It's renowned for its traditional layout, Bali Aga style, cleanliness, and we can do some of that down south, and the impressive giant bamboo forest. And this isn't just one type of bamboo that's in this forest. There's several species grow here, including 2 varieties that are particularly associated with Bali, known locally as Jajang Ayu and Jajang Talu. So remember that next time you're down at your local nursery. And of course Bangli is home to Kintamani, Mount Batur and Lake Batur, and it's also known for its Arabica coffee and those delicious Kintamani oranges. Not so well known for its cricket, but surprisingly we did see some guys practicing. But of course the highlight of the journey is Mount Batur and Lake Batur, Bali's largest lake, both sitting inside a massive volcanic caldera which was formed thousands of years ago. At just over 1700 metres in height, Batur is Bali's most active volcano. Major eruptions have occurred in 1917, 1926, 1963 and as recently as 2000. So when is the next one due? Also along the rim of the caldera is Bali's 3rd highest peak, Mount Abang, at some 400 metres taller than Batur.
You know that there is a building with the we call it greenhouse.
Yeah.
Down there, there is a big tree. There is like a plastic roof. That is a paprika farm. Paprika farm. The owner is Dutch couple. Name is Mrs. Gwenny. So every 2 weeks she hire me to bring me to bring them there. Yeah. So
from our viewpoint up here on the hill, on the top of the cliff, overlooking, that is bamboo down there. Bamboo grows very well in this part of the world. That is the Mount Batur, and that is the lava flow, the black area down there, and that's where they go jeep riding, sightseeing down that area, and they tell you all about the lava flows. You can see just in the top, and it's just one big volcanic crater, and it could go off. And volcanoes are never extinct. Did you know that? So let's hope it stays intact while we're here in Kintamani. That is Lake Batur, and it's no paddling pool, with an average depth of 50.8 metres and 88 metres at its deepest point. There's plenty of accommodation on the sides of the hill, as well as various accommodations down there. Trail bikes you can hear in the distance there. They've probably just been rambling around over there in the lava flows. So you can see, I wouldn't like to be building these things. They're fairly precariously hanging on the edge of this cliff. But that is a look at Mount Batur and Lake Batur from Penelokan, which actually means place to view. That's a view from the 80s, and you can see there's a little bit more development in today's view. There, it goes all the way around, circles around over there. So it's actually a little bit hard to get a vehicle through around there, but there is a road. It's probably a very small road, but there's all sorts of accommodation. There's mainly glamping type accommodation on that side, and we are staying right down there. Why not try a coffee cappuccino in Kintamani, and let's see if they compete with the coffee shops down south. It's got a nice big handle.
Yep.
Mark says it's beautiful.
Yep. Bagus coffee.
So from our Volkswagen Safari of 86, we upgrade to our trusty little Toyota. It's not the greatest of cars, got the baldest of tyres, I'll give it that much, and the dirtiest of windscreens. And that has been getting us around in Kintamani. And we've sort of come to the end of the lake, and Mark spotted these oxen or water buffalo in the back of a truck. Good old Mark has just wandered into someone's house, and with the limited amount of language that we can share, we've managed to get in here to take some shots. So he said, yeah, fine, no worries. I don't know how much this is going to cost us.
I didn't bring any money with me.
You didn't bring any money, so we'll have to find that ATM.
Is it okay to take a photo? And he said, no problem.
The northernmost part of the lake, and it's a long way actually. We drove for quite some time, not fast, but it does take a little while to get here, and it's a fair expanse of water and still keeps going up here. And I think there's more fish farm going on over there. Mark spotted the mother hen with a few little baby chicks, so it's digging a hole. Lots of roosters down there. He's hopping a bit, hopping mad. They for fighting. Ooh, you make
hobby.
Lots of money. So they're not for breed, not.
I look so TikTok.
Okay, yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Terima kasih.
Yeah. Sama-sama.
That family lives on the very northernmost part of the lake in a little village called Songam, and it's just around the corner from the statue of Goddess Danu. You can also get a boat ride right across the lake to the Kuburan Trunyan, otherwise known as the Cemetery of Skulls. So Marg was being a little bit cheeky there, just walked into someone's home and asked if she could take a photo of the lake, and they obliged. They're very nice and friendly, and they have roosters which are for fighting. He had a lot of roosters, and does it as a hobby. So might make a little bit of money on the side, which is they're not supposed to, but he was saying that Australia has good fighting roosters, and the only roosters that I know of are in Sydney playing rugby. So who knows, maybe we do. But he said on TikTok, he watches TikTok and watches Australian cockfighting. That's a new one to me. The big chicken. And there we have the front of the big rooster. Is emblazoned with Desa Gedisan. Kedasan is the locality that we're in. How old this tree is, nobody knows. It's been here as long as mankind. And I actually think it's not one tree, it's a whole collection of trees. But it looks like one from the outside, so until you get inside, it reveals itself to be more than one tree. And each one is fenced off. Just a couple of little shrines in here, but it is a bit of a meeting place. There's a whole lot of local people down here the other night, or other afternoon, and they were having some sort of meeting. And there's it's got a nasty limp on that rooster. I've seen a few that are tied up by the leg and they actually just limp. It's pretty, maybe cruel, inhumane. And a skinny little grey cat there eating from the chanangsaris. Not sure what's been put on there today, but he looks very hungry, or she looks very hungry. I think we need to do a little bit of research on this one. We were told it's quite important, this temple, but it's you can see down the back there, it's a bit wrecked. Logs have fallen onto it, and it looks in a little bit of disarray, but the chanangsari, there's lots of those around the place, old ones, discarded ones. So it does get used as a temple or a place of worship. Talk to the animals. Not sure what I said in buck buck, but it seems to have scared them off. Batur from the other side. Balidays, yeah. So on this side of the lake, it's only a single width road. It does narrow from probably about half a kilometre back that way. And back this way there's two more villages, one's called a Bang, and I'm not sure what the other one was called, but she said the road gets worse after a Bang, so we won't go much further. But this is looking right up the side of a Bang, Mount Abang, and very dense, isn't it? Very dense forest. There's a whole lot of smoke going on down here, and I think it's just leaf matter, I'm not sure, but it's a bit smelly, and I'm not sure if this is any sort of, I don't know what it is actually. It's a pool down there, there's a boardwalk, looks pretty new, there's a probably maybe some sort of glamping thing, a couple of cottages down there. So on this side it is pretty much more glamping accommodation that you'll find, and we've just been pulled up on the street, well, this little road that we're on by this guy. He said, where are you going, where are you going? And I thought, oh, he's going to say, no, you can't come down here. And he said, you want to go to the cemetery where the bodies don't smell. So I'd heard about it, but no, we're going to get another one now. They just come out of nowhere and they say things like, you want to buy this, or you want to go to the cemetery, or you want to go here, and boat rides on the lake, and so they want to make $1 somehow. But yeah, it's a great view though.
You want to know where you're going.
travelling around the back streets of Kintamani, and Marg's found an ATM tucked away. I'm not sure how she saw it, but there was one on the map, but it's inside this property, and looks like she's having success with that, and it's right next to a freshly baked daily now open shop. Kintamani traffic is trucks going no miles an hour, and then you take your life in your hands overtaking on a windy corner going up a hill, burning out in second gear. Now you've got to change down again. And we're straining in. Automatic's not good for hills. I had the manual car, and that was like trying to get it back into first gear, because you had to keep stop-starting up the hill behind the trucks and trying to get it in first gear. And it's got no rubber on the tyres. They just spin. And then the clutch starts burning. Oh, it's a nightmare. And there's the world famous Colosseum up ahead. Built by the Romans? Maybe not. And that is actually called the Colosseum. Up through Kintamani Township, it's still there actually, and having a coffee, and just taking in a little bit of a different aspect. We drove up here in a little hire car, and needed a little bit of a break because the stress levels.
Because it was terrifying.
Stress levels were through the roof.
It's so terrifying. I feel sick the whole time. Derek's doing a good job, I must say, but it is so scary because you're going up mountain and there's traffic and the car stalls. Oh my God. It's so scary.
To my own credit, I gotta say that the car didn't stall. Perfect clutch control and handbrake, of course, but unfortunately was a little bit of a road work going on right on the intersection as you come into Kintamani, and then head on down Jalan Gunde Sari, I think it is, and that takes you down to the lake. So that we're on an incline of about 35 degrees, and so there's a bit of a traffic build-up trying to get into Kintamani Township itself, and yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare, but we made it. Well, my driving skills made it. But I'm enjoying it anyway. It's sort of good for the heart. Shame I can't see through the windscreen though. It's so mucky, and there's no water in the water washer, windscreen washer. And I put the wipers on and just should not have done that. But yeah, I got to find some water to wash the windscreen. It's one hell of a scary building, that one. Just concrete columns. You get an earthquake and these things are all going to go kabango. But fortunately I don't think they've had an earthquake for a while. I should Google that. And that is the furthest part of Kintamani. It's still not a bad road, but it still has little moments of hilly bits and windy bits, and traffic comes and goes. But yeah, you can see right across there the old volcanic craters stretching all the way around. It's pretty intense sightseeing. And then on the other side, there's another range of mountains or hills across there too. Oh, so bad.